Emily, what can Cloud9 take away from back-to-back losses this split?
So I said earlier, I still think that C9 are going to win the split. But I think they had some like rare missteps in both of their losses. I forget whether we talked about it last week, but one of the big contributing factors to the 100T loss was the fact that Licorice made a very uncharacteristic laning mistake. Typically, he's incredibly like just insane in lane. Like someone who I actually recommend that you might want to watch a preview for how he approaches matchups and stuff. If you're watching any top laner in North America, I just recommend that you watch Licorice. And then in the EG game, I think we saw that Vulcan actually had kind of an off week, and especially with when he was playing Bard against EG, I believe he was the timing was like just slightly off, and if you're a Bard, that's actually like super crucial. I remember, I think it was like an early bot lane skirmish where like they had Huni down, I want to say like 30 CS in top lane. Like he was getting dunked on by Licorice, and all of a sudden there's a bot lane play where like the timing is just slightly off, that Bang gets his Aphelios ult off, and then he gets frozen in the Bard ult, and then Huni TP's down, gets a kill. The wave's in a great state for EG, and they're actually able to snowball a lot of advantages off of that. And all of the good work they did putting Huni's GP down just didn't, suddenly that was like all undone. So I think we saw some like really rare mechanical errors from C9 that we're not used to seeing. And additionally, I think if there's some takeaways they can have, it's in that team fighting coordination, and also really ensuring that they're getting Niski on something where he can roam and affect the map. Because if there's kind of a trend between the two games, it's that I don't think Niski was able to get unlocked as much as we're typically used to seeing him. And that is a huge and crucial part of how C9 succeeds, is Niski and Blabber being able to take over the early game. And their success kind of goes hand in hand with each other. So I think that was another like similarity I noticed between the two games. But I actually do think there were some rare mistakes from C9 that kind of make me nervous for them when I'm looking at them going to like a world stage, right? Because I'm still expecting them to fully win North America. I think we talked about online play in LEC and how maybe it's degraded a bit. Like I think that's also happened in NA, and I think NA is not in the best state right now. However, I do still expect C9 to win. So hopefully, again, they'll be able to go and play against better teams so they can shore up a lot of these things. Because I still don't think that playing in North America is necessarily going to help them, even with the losses.
Really quick here, because we're a little bit behind on time due to the tech issues. Tyler, let's talk Evil Geniuses. Now that we know that Goldenglue has been signed for the remainder of the season, what do you think this means for the roster? What do you think this means for Huni for the rest of the season? Is it a case-by-case basis still? How will this work for them, do you think?
I think it's a great opportunity for Goldenglue. I think we can kind of talk about this a little bit more, is where EG, I think, is the team that will be maybe one of the most aggressive teams in the free agency market, even the global pandemic area, where they signed Shizuke for 1 year to kind of as a tryout role, right? Where their real target was Mr. Chovy over in South Korea, offering him a multi-million-dollar deal. And as me and Jacob explained in the article during the offseason, Chovy did say no. He did join his confidant, his teacher, with CV Max over in Dragon X, but it was only a 1 year deal. So Chovy will be a free agent come this offseason, and Chovy did say he was going to take 1 year to win World Championship. He was like, I really want to win a championship with CV Max. I think Dragon X gives me our best chance. They're number one in Korea right now, so nothing against him. Chovy's having a remarkable year. He bet on himself. He's having maybe his best year of his career, and he's going to go in the offseason in a free agent. And if you're EG, I think that mid lane role is still open to Chovy. I still think you go back to Chovy and you offer him the same deal you offered him last offseason, because as we look at the roster, Huni is a resident next year. So Huni will be a resident. You have Huni in the top lane. You have Bang in the bottom lane. You have Zazel, you have Svenskeren, and if you get Chovy, and we can talk about if Chovy would actually be, a big boon, or if it would just kind of, be an overspend that didn't work out in the end. But I do think in the long run, I do think that is their goal. Or if I had to guess if that was their goal, because Chovy, it will be on the market. I don't think Jizuki is the answer, and I don't think Goldenglue for the long term is the answer on AG. But I think for the short term, I do think he can be that facilitator similar to DeMonte or a Niski, where he gets his side lanes going, where Huni and Bang are the true carries of the team. So I think this is a long-term game by EG, where they want to leave that mid-lane spot open for a Chovy-like player that they can sign in the offseason possibly. But I think for the short term, it's a good move, and I'm really happy for Goldenglue, because I do think that with two strong sidelines, if Huni's informed, this team could make it Worlds and do pretty well there.